Yo, 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 we are back again with episode 10 of Off the Top with your boy Mac the Riddler and your boy DJ Evo.
Yo, yo.
And man, today we got some interesting things that we're gonna talk about with you guys. But first of all, being that it is some of the last days and coming up on the end of Black History Month, I don't want to be cliche throughout the whole month and just have the whole show be themed Black History, like too overpowering or something. But I did want to share like one of the small stories that I felt like it was inspiring to me, and it really just changed my outlook on how the mind frame of an individual overpowering a situation happened more often than we probably thought it did in that situation, especially around slavery time in that era. But that's a whole different subject. I'm going to talk about Henry Box Brown. He was a person that worked for a slave owner, but he was a trusted house person. I don't want to use the terminology that he would have had to go by back in those days. But he basically was a trusted house person. He was trusted to do things like go to the market, bring back objects that he needed to perform different duties that he had throughout the day, or to perform different duties that he had from his slave owners or whatever. But throughout that, he somehow arranged himself to be mailed in a box, in a wooden crate, to abolitionists that was in Philadelphia. And he arranged it and he scheduled it, so he had to take that journey, and the journey ended up being a couple of days, close to like a week's time. But he eventually made it there, and once he made it there, he linked up with the abolitionists, and he eventually gained his freedom, and he ended up becoming an abolitionist and a public speaker for pay. So it really just demonstrates how a person's mind and a person's mind frame not being subject to a situation and steady continuing to think, okay, how can I get out of a situation, even though I know it's bad, even though I know it's unjust, even though I know it's unfair. He used all that and overpowered the situation with wit, intelligence. That's why I tell all the young people that's younger than me and all the people that's older than me who feel like they can gain something from young people, just like I feel like I can gain from young and old people, that wit and intelligence can always overcome any situation. But moving on, we're gonna talk about. Oh, whoa! This shit is kind of hot, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I don't even want to touch this subject, but goddamn, I would have to touch it though. Shit, I heard what Boosie said about it. more than he probably should have said about it. I've been hearing what everybody else had to say about the situation, about Dwayne Wade's. I'm gonna be doing the respectful thing and addressing it as Dwayne Wade's daughter, because that's what Dwayne Wade feels like his child should be addressed as. So that's what I'll be addressing it as. But other people might not feel as it is such. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Should children be able to decide their gender preference? As a child, not being able to decide can you drink or not. Not being able to decide can you smoke cigarettes. They just raised the smoking age. Not being able to see R-rated movies. You can't do shit. You don't pay for shit. You just do what I say. In my house, when I was coming up, my mom used to tell me I used to ask my mom what we eating today. She used to say what I want to eat. So I'm coming from that type of mind frame of being raised by a strong black mother, and I know you probably can relate. And anybody cross races, cross ethnicities and nationalities. This is something that's a common thing throughout everybody, throughout the world, just in a certain generation, a certain age period. Parents do not play that shit. If they tell you something in their household, that's how it go. So now we crossing into a generation to where we evolving as a people, and everything is becoming more and more normalized. So what I want to ask you today, what do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? As a father, would you give your child that right to express themselves so early as 3 years old, to coming out to you and telling you, I want to be identified as a her?
I feel like I give them a talk to where like your identity as far as who you are. You don't know who you are, you know what I'm saying, right now, especially, like I don't know what could like happen in their mind at that age to like formulate, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Other
right.
than what I exposed them to.
Right,
So then
right.
I gotta ask. That's where it comes from. That's where that stigma comes from. Like, what have at that age? What did I expose my child to, or what did have they been exposed
To make them
to make them thoughts? Because as far as at these ages, like they're ignorant. Like they don't have. They looking to us for guidance and what's in this world that they need to know.
Right.
So, like at 18 or something like that,
Mhm.
if you want to make those decisions, and when you get to that point
Mhm.
of all your learning,
Mhm.
and just like high school when you graduate, before you get that certificate,
Mhm.
my nigga, you can't do shit. Like I can't go work. And if I'm in elementary, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I gotta get all of my shit right. You know what I'm saying? All of my certifications,
Which is true.
and then I could answer that question more thoroughly.
Right.
You don't have at that age. They don't have the information. They may look on whatever nowadays with technology at the fingertips. You know, it's right there. And they might research like the way he say that he did with his own daughter. They researched it and
all kinds of arrangements.
Yeah, all kinds of like that. So at the end of the day, regardless of what I say and I think what anybody say, that's his kid.
Right.
I don't care what he do with his kid. As long as he ain't trying, you know, as they quote Boosie say, chop my son's dick off, you heard me? I don't give a fuck. As long as you ain't trying to impose that on my son, hey, I'm not trying to impose nothing on your daughter or whatever you want to call her, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So,
you do that.
But basically, it still should be up to the parent.
Yeah, it should be up to the parent.
So the choice is not in necessarily the kid's hand. It's not necessarily that it's a universal thing that's going on with the kid that the kids are choosing now. It's just that parent situation at that parent's discretion. He feels like he has to connect with his child on a certain level, and he feels like that it's okay to give his child those rights and responsibilities of being able to choose his sexual preference and therefore. So that's just an individual case thing. So people going forward, all the people on Facebook, Instagram, leave this family alone. They have the right to do and move how they see fit. And that's just the truth of the matter. And that's just with anything. Fuck, if I want pickles and lettuce and bread without the fucking meat, I can do that because this is my choice in America as a person, as an individual, and as a human being. So everybody just calm down.
Just chill out.
But so they definitely have the right. So we're gonna say that's a yes to that. And then moving forward, I just want to address something because I did get some comments from some of the viewers. People want to hear our opinions. People want to give definite opinions. So we are going to start giving you guys yeses and nos on some of the topics that we discuss throughout the years to come, hopefully. So next, we're going to say, how do I drum this up into a smaller question? Okay. So basically, what somebody wanted me or suggested me to ask to the viewers, they wanted me to know. Wanted me to say, is it the same thing? Because, we're gonna come back to that one. We're gonna come back to that one. Should children be allowed to have physical sex changing operations? Now, this is something that Boosie, alluded to, and I think everybody knows this is not what Dwayne Wade or Gabrielle Union or their daughter or anybody in their family alluded to. I don't think they ever alluded to getting the sexual change operation for their child. But Boosie said it was like, no, don't cut their dick off, man. Don't cut their dick off. And then I told people that they can't chop Boosie down because Boosie never said if he actually meant chopping the dick off as an operation or as he meant as symbolism because I took it as it probably was a symbolism. So don't take his manhood so early. 3 years old, like for how the fuck you gonna tell me you ain't a man at 3 years old? And I understood that because you haven't even lived life fully and experienced your natural birthright of being black African American. That's your natural birthright. You haven't even experienced that to tell yourself or to tell anybody that you want to be something that's different. Now, once you experience your natural birthright and you achieve your legal birthright to take ownership over your own life at 18, because that's when you're a legal guardian of yourself, then you have to choose. You have the right to do whatever you want. So, what do you feel like if your child, if your child ever came to you and was like, Dad, at the age of 16 or 17, I wanna be a man. After your baby girl come and tell you, I want to be a man. How would you feel about that?
At what age?
At 16, 17. They're just not a legal guardian. They're not legal yet, but or 15.
Like this, I tell them just like I don't know, bro. I honestly don't know. I'll probably just sit there, just look at them and stand them just for the longest and just like, what the fuck? Like, this is just me being honest, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm just like mind blown. Like, what do I tell you? You know what I'm saying? Right. What can I tell you? You know, that would be the right thing for you to hear at these moments, because like people sensitive nowadays, and the generation coming forth is even more sensitive. It's more spiritual. It's more in the higher levels of energy, you know what I'm saying? More than the lower energies that we come from as far as survival, and you got to have a job, you got to do this, you got to do this. More the age of the individual. Right. So they sensitive, and you might say something that might tip. Everybody's sensitive. You go on social media, you famous or something, you got to have a strict kind of talking. You got to have a strict kind of guidelines to your talking, because you might tip the scales, you know what I'm saying? Even people at our level, you know what I'm saying? We could say something, that stuff go viral, and like, oh, it's a whole hate crime or whatever. So it's everybody's just too sensitive nowadays, bro. And just need to let people talk, you know what I'm saying? And think about how is that affecting you. Now, if it's affecting you that much to the point where it's damaging, then okay, then go see about it. But words is words, man. Unless people put that action to it, then let them talk. Shit.
Definitely let them talk. Okay, so we're gonna be moving on to the next topic, and this one is gonna be taking place on part 2 of episode 10, because this is gonna be a long one, man. So y'all check us out for part 2 of episode 10 with your boy Mac the Riddler and DJ Evo.
Yo.